Hello everyone and welcome to my unboxing and review of one of the best games of all times, or I personally consider it to be one of the greatest games of all times. It's the European PAL version of Castlevania Symphony of the Night for the original PlayStation, released all the way back in 1997, and there you can see it. It's the original version. It's as you can see, the price back then is like 79.90 Deutsche Mark, which is German mark, which was the currency in the 90s in Germany, and it's equivalent to maybe like 40 euros nowadays. But trust me guys, this game alone on eBay costs way over 100 euros. I paid for it a little bit over 120 euros, so just to have it in my collection in its original state. And the seller also gave me a very nice booklet or a guide on how to beat it. It's a complete walkthrough, but it's in German, of course, and yeah, but it's very nice. Thank you very much for the seller for sending me the guide for this great game as well. But since I've played it so many times and completed it so many times, I can run through this with blindfolded. And yeah, as you can see, PAL version of Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Very great game. It kind of went under the radar in 1997, and I honestly don't know why, but it gained a cult status, and nowadays it's considered a true classic, and alongside Super Metroid, which I also love very much. There are those two games that are considered the best among the best when it comes to 2D side-scrolling games. And if you heard the term Metroidvania, it stems from this game and Metroid. So yeah, Metroidvania comes from this, and Super Metroid, if you fuse Metroid and Castlevania, or only the Vania part of Castlevania. So yeah guys, since I'm a very old fan of the series, starting all the way from 2000, or not 2000, from the way from the first Castlevania game I played was actually on the NES, and that one was so hard. I believe it's the very first Castlevania game, but this one revamped everything: graphics, 2D sprites, animations, soundtrack. This game has one of the best soundtracks out there. If you saw my intro, it's basically taken out from this game, so this is a very memorable soundtrack. You can never go wrong with the soundtrack of this. It has excellent artwork by Ayami Kojima, I think is her name. She's a very nice artist. She did a lot of the artwork for Castlevania, and wow, she's a true artist. And also, funny thing is, of course, she did the artwork for the cover artwork for the PAL version of this game, because when you watch the US version, it has a very ugly cover. It's just like the castle, and on a purple background. I kind of hate the design they went with for the US version. And what were they thinking? Look at this artwork. This is amazing. Have the same one here in the back. This is AlucarD. He's the son of Dracula, and you play as him. Unlike in previous games where you played as the Belmont clan, or even on the DS titles like Shanoa or Dracula himself, or his reincarnation Soma Cruz. In this one you play as AlucarD, and he's one of the best. And he's not an antagonist; he's a protagonist, because you see he's a vampire, but also he doesn't use whips, he uses swords and all kind of magic, but he's very cool character. Too bad they gave him so little to talk in this game. And also guys, I mentioned earlier, this has an excellent soundtrack, but the voice acting in this is really poor. I don't know why this one has a really bad um, voiceover dub, or at least the PAL version, the US version. The Japanese version is more in line with the dub, but this one has a very bad voice acting, similar to Resident Evil. And funny enough, I actually like it. It is really cheesy, really bad dub, but I like it. But aside from that, this game is excellent. It's flawless. I don't even know. I can't praise it much enough. Honestly, if you haven't played it already, do yourself a favor. Download it from the PSN network. Grab an original copy if you still can. If you find it under 150, it's worth it. It's worth your money. I know it's worth for mine. This one is in rather good condition. It has a few cracks on the cover, but it has the manual and the disc, and having this in my collection alongside Resident Evil 1 to 3 really really makes me happy, because as I mentioned you earlier in the video, I love this game. So yes guys, if you come across you can play it nowadays on everything, even on the Xbox. There is a very good remastered version on the, or it's a port of this game on the PSN network, on the Xbox 360, and also if you own the Castlevania remake on the PlayStation Portable, it has Symphony of the Night in it, and you can even play as Maria. And also another version of this was released for the Sega Saturn only in Japan, and that one has 2 bonus stages. You can play as Maria and Richter, and I believe it's also very good, but it's not as good as the PlayStation version, of course. That's the original 1997 PlayStation version, because you see the Sega Dreamcast, not the Sega Dreamcast, my bad, the Sega Saturn, it struggled with 3D. That's why this one looks the best on the PlayStation. Same as with Resident Evil. Some like the Saturn version better. I played them both and I like them both. I even like the Dracula X version. This is called the Dracula X Nocturne in the Moonlight in Japan. So just like Biohazard is called Resident Evil here in Europe and the US, Castlevania is called Dracula X over there in, or Akumanju Dracula X, it's called over there in Japan. So yeah, I also played the Japanese version. It's quite right. It's quite right. It has a better sound, voice acting than this one. But yes, guys, let's dig inside. I will pop it into my PlayStation 3. Yeah, there is no excuse for you not playing this game, since it runs on all the PlayStation 3s out there except PlayStation 4. Damn you, just released this one on PlayStation 4. What are you waiting for, Sony or Konami? But Konami is nowadays running their top games like Metal Gear Solid into the ground, so I don't know what to say about that. But yeah, let's put the camera down and show you the content of the PAL version. So, and yeah, there it is. Picked it up from eBay, paid around 130 euro for it. Also came with this nice guide. This is the PAL version. It was in Germany. It was released here in Germany in 1997. This is actually the original version, the first print. As you can see, it still has the etiquette on it, and as you can see at the back, it's written in more languages, I believe. and of course it's for one player, and you need a memory card. But don't worry so much, since I'm using I will play this into my with my PlayStation 3, so there is no problem about that. You can use your PlayStation 3 to play PlayStation 1 games, except maybe you will need an older PlayStation 3 to play PlayStation 2 games, but more about that later. Like Extermination, great game. So let's open it up. And there it is. Comes with a very thick manual and with the great cover art by Ayami Kojima, which is a fantastic. She's a very talented painter, I believe. She paints a lot of the Castlevania artwork. A lot of the Konami games or Castlevania games do have her artwork. Here at the back you have AlucarD, which is backwards for Dracula, of course. You know that by now. It's not the one from Helsing. The one from Helsing is another AlucarD. This one is the son of Dracula. Dracula is over here. You will fight him. You will also have a very interesting conversation with him at the beginning of the game. Here you have Richter Belmont. He's like a descendant of the Belmont clan, and this is his sister Maria. So those are the four main protagonists, or Dracula is the antagonist, more like that, of the game. So there is the manual, very thick manual, as you can see. Very cool to have it, the complete version, you know. It's in different languages, like in Spanish, French. Oh, this is the English one. Here it says about the backstory of it. There is also, here are other characters. This in German, like Der Tod, which means death. He takes all your gear at the beginning of the game. What a douchebag, but you will get to him later on. Then there is the librarian. You can buy all kind of stuff from them. Lisa, which is Alucard's mother, but she's mortal, you know. She was burnt at the stake for being a witch, or accused of being a witch. And of course the Castlevania's all-time villain, which is of course Dracula, and Alucard's father, of course. So, and here are all the rules. It's very nice to have. Yeah, there she is, Ayami Kojima. What a great artist. Look at her artwork here. Just check out, just put in Ayami Kojima in Google and look up her artwork. She's a fantastic artist. So yeah, this is the manual. Awesome. And of course nothing special more. It's just an ordinary disc, you know. This is how it looks. It's in black and white. It's the first print of Castlevania Symphony of the Night. When you turn it back, it's all black because all the PlayStation 1 games are black at the back. So I will put this one into my PlayStation 3 and we'll do some Castlevania. So at the back I have connected my capture card to the PlayStation 3. It's right here. There, as you can see, starts right up. The controller is already synced to the port 1. So let's do it. Unfortunately, I did connect the sound to my speakers over here, but I will show you that it works. And the PlayStation I'm using, there it is, Castlevania Symphony of the Night. The PlayStation I'm using right now is a Model 1 PlayStation 3. That one, fortunately, here in the PAL region, can also play PlayStation 2 games. but only the very first release of the PlayStation 3. They removed the PlayStation 2 compatibility with PlayStation 2 games later on. Oh, I didn't have, but don't worry, let's go with AlucarD. I always go with AlucarD. Also, if you are on Netflix, they released a 6-part anime series, which is based on Simon's Quest, I think. You should definitely check it out, it's very good. There it is, Transylvania, Romania, 1792. Honestly, guys, just get any version of this. I don't know if you can hear it. Awesome soundtrack. And there was a secret over here. Well, this is actually a direct sequel to the previous Castlevania entry, which was Castlevania 4, I believe, or Super Castlevania. This is a timeless classic. I mean, look at this sprite work in this one. And this is when we meet Dracula. And the dialogue is really bad in this. Let's see if you can hear it.
You steal men's souls and make them your slaves. Perhaps the same could be said of all religions. Your words are as empty as your soul. Mankind ill needs a savior such as
I
you.
have finished this game, maybe I can't even count, like over 50 times on different platforms. But I always loved the PlayStation version the most. And I think there is a very easy trick to finish Dracula off with holy water. Then he turns into this giant monster thing. Oh, I took damage there. But you can't lose this fight, even if you take a heavy beating. Maria will come in and rescue you, so this is like the prologue mission of this game. And it has a very nice twist. There he gets banished in the previous game. It has a very nice twist. If you meet certain conditions, the castle would actually invert, and you can go through the castle a second time, but this time it's upside down, like in a mirror, you know, but only vertically. So yeah, there it is, guys. Castlevania Symphony of the Night for the PlayStation, played on the PlayStation 3. Fantastic game. As I mentioned before, it gained cult status and it's very hard to get nowadays, or it's very expensive, but you can still track it down on eBay, and if you find it for a decent price or a fair price, definitely go and buy it, because, or get it on the PSN, just play it and decide for yourself. But yeah, this is a true masterpiece in my opinion, and yeah, so glad to have this one in my collection. Very great, very great game. I'm kinda sad they don't make 2D side-scrolling games like they did in the 90s, like Super Metroid, Castlevania. They did some great entries for the Nintendo DS, like Order of Ecclesia, or what was it called? Aria of Sorrow for the Game Boy Advance. But there you see Castlevania. But this game laid the stepping stone, and it aged so well. Controls are fluid, so I can't praise it high enough. True classic, true masterpiece. Do yourself a favor and pick this game up, and this is where AlucarD enters the castle and the adventure begins. It comes from the forest and enters the castle. Just look at the 2D graphics, guys. It's a masterpiece. I don't even think there is a game out there that matches its 2D capabilities. Maybe Ori and the Blind Forest comes close. That one is also on Steam and PlayStation 4. But there is no denial, this is a masterpiece of a game. Yeah, guys. So there you have it. This was my my review and unboxing of the original PlayStation 1 version, first print of Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Thank you everyone very much for watching. In my next video I will do a very underrated game, survival horror game called Extermination, which was a entry or release PlayStation 2 release title, and in my opinion it's very underrated, and it's actually pretty great. I popped the disc in yesterday and I played for 2 hours straight, so I had so much fun with it. So I will unbox it and we will put it into my PlayStation 3 and we'll see. I'll talk about it, and yeah, so that's about it, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and see you guys next time. Bye bye.